Hello everyone, and welcome to my video. So I want to talk about a topic that I'm interested in, and that is about mental health awareness. The purpose of this video is to spread awareness about mental health, especially in Indonesia. If we want to talk about mental health awareness, we need to know about what mental health is. So, according to the World Health Organization, mental health is like a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well and work well, and contribute to their community. So, what if our mental health is not stable and has problem? What factors can contribute to it? It can be from biological factors such as genes or brain chemistry, life experiences such as trauma or abuse, and family history of mental health problems. Then how about the sign itself? There are hallucination, delusion, mania, extra mood swing, confusion, having low or no energy, sleep disturbance, pulling away from people and usual activity, yelling or fighting with family and friends, smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual, and inability to perform daily tasks. Now we talk about common mental illnesses that Indonesian people have already heard about. Okay, the first one is depression. According to the World Health Organization, it is characterized by persistent sadness and a lack of interest or pleasure in like previously rewarding or enjoyable activities. It can also disturb sleep and appetite. Tiredness and poor concentration are common. So what the cause of depression? The cause include complex interaction between social, psychological, and biological factors. Life events such as childhood adversity, loss, and unemployment contribute to and maybe catalyze the development of depression. The second one is bipolar. Godwin and Jamieson in 1990 in DSM-4 stated that bipolar disorder is a recurrent mood disorder featuring one or more episodes of mania or mixed episode of mania and depression. Bipolar disorder is a category that includes three different diagnoses: bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and cyclothymic disorder. So, what is the cause of bipolar disorder? The first one is genetic. The family members of a person with bipolar disorder have an increased risk of developing it themselves, but no single gene is responsible for bipolar disorder. Instead, a number of genetic and environmental factors are thought to act as triggers. Second triggers, stressful circumstance. or situation often triggers the symptoms of bipolar disorders. The example is like the breakdown of relationship, physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, and the death of a close family or loved one. So this type of life-altering event can cause episode of depression at any time in a person's life. Third, chemical imbalance in the brain. So bipolar disorder is widely believed to be the result of chemical imbalances in the brain. The chemical responsible for controlling the brain function are called neurotransmitter and include noradrenaline, serotonin, and dopamine. There's some evidence that if there's an imbalance in the level of one or more neurotransmitter, a person may develop some symptoms of bipolar disorder. For example, this evidence that episode of mania may occur when levels of noradrenaline are too high, and episode of depression may be a result of noradrenaline levels becoming too low. For physical illness, next overwhelming problem in everyday life, such as problem with money, work, or relationship, and the last one, sleep disturbances. We already talked about like the basic concept of mental illness uh, and mental health. You guys must be curious about the stigma of mental health in Indonesia. So for those who don't know what stigma is, it is like the disapproval of or discrimination against something or someone due to particular characteristic that they hold. So for many individuals with mental health problems, stigma can often surround the struggles that they may be going through. The example is like the few of depressed people might be like crazy, incompetent, or weak. So, how did this happen? And what is the reason mental illness is surrounded by stigma? There are at least three reasons. The first one is lack of knowledge, such as ignorance or misinformation about a subject. The example is like people with depression are dangerous. The second one is attitude, such as prejudice, which can lead to emotional reaction, such as because they are dangerous, I fear them. The last one is behavioral problems, such as discrimination. The example is they're dangerous, I will avoid them. Okay, and then a person with a mental illness may recognize and agree with the stigma surrounding their condition, and this is known as self-stigma. And self-stigma can result in the individual inflicting negative attitudes and behaviors toward themselves. This can have detrimental effects on an individual's self-esteem and self-confidence, and potentially lead to not seeking treatment, withdrawing from society, substance abuse, or even suicide. So from what I know, some of the people close to me indicate sign of mental health illnesses. So when I advise them to go to like a psychologist or a psychiatrist, they refuse because of the stigma. So from what I just explained, we can conclude that stigma can be harmful to those living with a mental illness, and stigma can deter people from seeking treatment. worsen someone's mental health or ability to recover, cause discrimination at work or school, social exclusion, bullying, or violence. There's a lack of support and empathy for people with mental illnesses, affect families of those living with a mental illness, which can lead to a lack of disclosure and support and create a negative image of mental health professional and treatment. So how can we challenge this stigma? We can promote and do mental health treatment if it is needed. Watch out for any stigma that you yourself may have, like take the time to evaluate attitude based on whether they are constructive and factual or they are harmful on misinformation. Remember that mental illness is normal and can take on many different forms. When you meet someone with mental illness, don't judge, label, or discriminate against them. Treat them with respect and dignity. Learn the fact about mental illnesses. This will equip you to provide accurate information to others in conversation and assist in countering misinformation that others may believe and filter what others say. So whenever you hear somebody's belief and opinions about something, ask yourself, is this based on scientific or medical knowledge, or is it based on rumors and prejudice? So that's it, guys. I hope my explanation can give you light information about mental health and see you next time.